nothing short of a mutiny on part of the contractors in Karnataka, and it's almost as though Karnataka and corruption are inseparable. As things stand, contractors of the BBMP, Bengaluru civic body, have stopped working on all ongoing projects and maintenance work in the city in protest against the civic body not clearing outstanding bills for work that has already been done. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. The contractors are on strike, having been alleging corruption on part of the government. They met the governor over a range of issues. In their letter, they have taken aim straight at Deputy Chief Minister DK Shivakumar, and the allegations are shocking. 10 to 15% commission to release payments. Now, DK Shivakumar, on his part, has formed a special investigation team to probe the irregularities in BBMP work over the last 4 years. He alleges bills have been submitted without doing any work and also questioned the quality of work being executed. He affirmed he will not be affected by blackmail or threats, but the BBMP is firm on its demand for funds. And the same was affirmed by BBMP Contractors Association President Manjunath in an exclusive with Times Network.
If you could tell us, what is the complaint that you made to the governor?
At the time of payment, they are telling that the investigation will be made. After that, we will release the payment. But we are asking from 26 months, what are you doing? It's not the way to do release the payment. Immediately, you should release the payment.
Okay, these are payments that you're saying, sir, that from over 20 to 5 months it's been pending, you're saying. But there is also a portion in the letter where you make an allegation here that that some of your contractors are saying that the Bangalore minister here is asking for commission of 10 to 15%. What information do you have about this, and where does this?
We don't have any information. Some of the middlemen told them for some of the contractors.
What did they say, sir? If you could tell us.
Yeah, they won't release the payment unless we have to pay the commission. Okay. They scolded me in the press meet.
Okay. Also, you have said that you will go on an indefinite strike. You're also saying that, if the payments are not given, the last option will be suicide. It's quite a strong statement that you've made, and this is a letter that has been presented to the Karnataka governor.
Yeah. Yes. From yesterday only, we stopped all the works, and we are meeting these 28 MLS, irrespective of parties. And then after this week, we'll decide how to move this thing. Movement.
ನನಗೆ ಯಾವ ಬಿಲ್ ವಿಚಾರ ನಾನು ಯಾವ ಗುತ್ತಿಗೆದಾರನೂ ಮಾತಾಡಿಲ್ಲ. ನನಗೂ ಪ್ರಜ್ಞೆ ಇದೆ, ನನಗೂ ರಾಜಕಾರಣ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, ನನಗೂ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟರ್ಗಳು ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಯಾರಿಂದ ಯಾರು ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಏನು ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೂ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ನಾವು ಕಾನೂನು ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಕಾನೂನು ಚೌಕಟ್ಟನ್ನು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಈ ಬ್ಲ್ಯಾಕ್ ಮೇಲು, ಈ ಥ್ರೆಟ್ಟು, ಈ ಗವರ್ನರ್ ಕೊಡೋದು, ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರಪತಿ ಹೋಗೋದು ಪಾಪ ಇದೆ. ಕ್ವೈಟ್ ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ನಾವು ವಿರೋಧ ಪಕ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿದ್ದರೆ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಬಂದು ಭೇಟಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀಲ್ವಾ? ನಾನು ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಪ್ರಮಾಣ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದಿಲ್ಲ, ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಉತ್ತರ ಕೊಡಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಕಾನೂನು ಏನು ಹೇಳಿದೆ ಕಾನೂನು ಉತ್ತರ ಕೊಡ್ತದೆ. ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಬಿಲ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಬಿಲ್ ಕೊಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಇವತ್ತು ಅರ್ಜಿ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಾಳೆ ಟೆಂಡರ್ ಆಯಿತು, ನಾಳಿದ್ದು ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಸಿಕ್ತು, ಒಂದೇ ತಿಂಗಳಲ್ಲಿ 1,000 ಕೋಟಿ ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕೆಲವು ಆಫೀಸರ್ಸ್ನ ಹೇಳಿದ್ವಿ, ನೀವು ಅದನ್ನ ಸರ್ಟಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ.
But the big demand still remains release of funds. Now, the same was emphasized by Karnataka Contractors Association President Kempanna in an exclusive with Mirror Now. He termed the formation of the SITs as a delay tactic when it comes to release of funds. Now, Kempanna says release the funds first, then form pro-panels.
I request the government, at least if you want to make the SIT, let 90% of payment let them pay. Afterwards, they do inquiry with me. Okay. They can do. So I do agree. If there is this, what action they have taken against the person who is responsible for work, because the officials they are involved in that. They should have taken the same officials is doing this work. How can they give a justice for contractors? I don't think no purpose will be served on the same setup if they have made.
You mentioned earlier, sir, that in your view this was a delaying tactic to delay the payments of the bills.
100% is a delaying part, and enchanting the contractors. Contractor is suffering a lot from last 6 months. They have not get any payments and all.
Taking this across to my colleague Neha, joining me live on the broadcast. Neha, good evening. As far as we speak about Karnataka with the Congress and the government at loggerheads, we have seen this previously as well. But what's interesting is this time around, it is against the Congress government. Tell us about the claims that is being made. And we do understand that a probe is going to be done by the state government now, which Kempanna only goes on to call it a delaying tactic.
Well, that's right, Nivedana. What we're now picking up is that even as you had the Congress party coming to power in the state of Karnataka, by, of course, largely championing the cause of corruption in the previous government's tenure, it now seems like, this is something that's come back now knocking at the Congress government's doors. We're seeing that contractors today, in fact, going on to meet the governor, they're submitting a memorandum to him demanding that, all of the allegations that they've been, that they've in fact leveled be probed thoroughly. Imperative to mention that it's quite shocking here that, in a letter that they've actually submitted there to the governor, they've also gone on to mention that the Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka, Mr. DK Shivakumar, is in fact, claiming a cut of about 10 to 15% to clear the bills. Now, of course, we've also heard from the Deputy Chief Minister himself there, where he's gone on to very clearly defend his stand and say that all of this is nothing but political drama. This is being, in fact, staged by his opponents. And most importantly, the fact still remains that they've formed 4 committees over here. Each of these committees would be looking into specific departments, the funds that need to be cleared for these departments, and whether all of the bills that have been raised in these departments are genuine or not. So he says that, for those contractors who have nothing to worry about, who have genuinely carried out the work and raised bills to the tune of the work that they've carried out, that, in fact, they have nothing to worry about. It's those contractors who've raised forged bills, for that matter, who really have to worry about, these 4 committees being formed. So on the whole, we're seeing one thing that's quite certain is that, the drama as far as corruption charges or graft charges in the state of Karnataka is concerned is far from over.
Right, Neha. Thank you very much for getting us the latest on that. Stay with me. I understand you're tracking more developments from the state. I'm going to come back to you in a couple of minutes. The Congress party has upped its ante over what they call a fake letter alleging graft by Agriculture Minister. Leaders of the Grand Old Party protested today in Mandya. Now, MLAs and MLCs from the district as well as the Joint Director of Agriculture have filed police complaints over the letter. State Congress leaders have also submitted a memorandum to State Home Minister G. Parmeshwara calling for strict action against the fake letter returned to the governor. Now, the Siddaramaiah government too has decided to thoroughly probe the matter. After discussing the issue with Home Minister, CM Siddaramaiah has directed State CID to investigate the letter. Now, this came after the state governor forwarded the letter to Karnataka Chief Secretary demanding action against the minister based on the letter.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಅದನ್ನ ಎಂಕ್ವೈರಿ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಪೊಲೀಸ್ನವರಿಗೆ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಚಲುವರಾಯ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಅವರು ಅದು ಫೇಕ್ ಲೆಟರ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಯಾರು ಜಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಗ್ರಿಕಲ್ಚರ್ ಅವರು ಕೂಡ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವರು ಒಂದು ಕಂಪ್ಲೇಂಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಶೋಕ್ ಕುಮಾರ್ ಅಂತ ಅವರು ಕೂಡ ಕಂಪ್ಲೇಂಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಪೊಲೀಸ್ನವರಿಗೆ ತನಿಖೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಸತ್ಯ ಏನು ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದನ್ನು ಹೇಳಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ.
Let me go across to Neha to get us a quick sense of the latest on this. Neha, if you could just help us understand this perspective, because of course, when this did come out yesterday, we were picking up that it was a fake letter, but we do understand now strict action as well as probe is going to be done over the same. So if you could break that down for us.
Well, yes, absolutely. When this letter did surfaced yesterday. We saw the minister over here in concern, who's, in fact been accused of graft over here. He, along with the department officials, all went on to deny these charges, calling it a fake letter. And today we see that the entire matter has been referred to the CID for a probe. This is imperative over here, of course, because while on one hand you have the governor's office over here having referred that letter to the chief secretary's office, on the other hand you also have the CID, in fact, being tasked with carrying out a thorough probe. Now, this also, of course, comes as a larger part of the graft charges that we're seeing, being leveled right now against the government. We'll really have to wait and see where this pans out and how this goes now for the agriculture minister over here in concern, and whether that probe that's being conducted by the CID actually goes on to yield any truth at all or not. Because again, it's important to mention that there's also a police complaint now, of course, separately, that had been filed, citing that this letter is fake. So possibly, verifying the authenticity of this letter would be the first, task, of course, on the hands of the CID, and later, most importantly, identifying where this letter came from. That's something that we've seen Congress leaders even meeting the Home Minister about, and seeking that a thorough probe be carried out into this and the source of that letter be identified at the earliest.
All right, Neha, thank you very much for joining us on both those developments from Karnataka.